When I talk to people who's divorced God, who don't have relationship with the Creator, just some people, they think I'm able to study a couple books or couple philosophy class and I'm enough, I know what is the truth. And their problem, first question when I ask people, are you a believer? They tell me, oh, I was born a Christian and that, but I don't like church. I said, okay, then you have a problem with building. You don't have a problem with God. You have a problem with people because the same people, Michael Paul, one of them, you find them in the church, you find them in the lottery club, you find them in the bar, you find them in the airplane, everywhere. So the problem, it's a human nature, it's not God nature. And for that reason, Jesus come to the world. And for that reason, I jump from Islam to Christianity. Christianity of Jesus Christ. First time when my visa was released after long years of suffer and persecution and jail between Syria and Iraq, my homeland, and I found myself finally on the Delta airplane from Istanbul, Turkey, to come to JF Kennedy. And I sit in my seat, and there is a young man, was in his 30s beside me. He look American like you, it's not like me. I look ugly, American, very handsome and beauty for girls. So, and I start, in that time I couldn't have even my Bible when I was underground. There is family who actually invite me to be part of them life and family. They adopted me spiritually, and that's how I came to North Idaho, because they were living in Post Falls. So they sent me iPad, and I found a pastor, he came to visit north side of Iraq with his wife, he's from Spokane. He downloaded the Bible on the iPad so I can read it. So when I was in the airplane, for the first time I felt safe to read my Bible without persecution. So I opened the Bible in Arabic language, and he started to look at me like that, and I can see him. He was afraid, fear. So a little after, and I was look very ugly. I tell you the truth. 3 years of persecution and suffer can change the man. My jaw was broken, my teeth was corrupted, my nose, I was very thin. It's disaster. So when he looked at me like that, and again, and he turned after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he said, what are you reading? I said, don't worry, it's not Quran, it's a Bible. So he said, he laughed. He said, why you say that? I said, because I can tell there's fear inside you. I'm not terror. And not all the Muslims terror. And there is line between Muslim as a human, as a people, like you, like me, cheated and deluded by the quest of Islam. That's what I believe. Like I was cheated. And there is Islamist people who exercise Islam and study the Quran, because I believe even if all the world disagree with me, who exercise the book of Quran, there is no other ways more to be extremist, because this is the constitution of Islam. So he said, are you Christian? I said, excuse me, sir, what does Christianity mean to you? And he said, that's... I said, if Christianity means to you something building and meditation and stuff like that, there is no difference between what I left behind, Islam, and where I come to set free by the blood of Jesus Christ. So my illustration to enter to that, there is big difference between the exercise, the religion, and the relationship. I always say that Christianity is not religion. Christianity, it's matter of faith. Christianity, it's a relationship between the main reason for every cause in your life, the Creator, and we as nothing. By the grace of God, I'm taking a class of astronomy with my amazing instructor, and I discover all that massive information. And always, sometimes people, hear the problem. Sometimes people, when they discover more science, they make the valley between them and God so wide more. But for me, when I discover more scientific evidence that when I cling more in God, I love God so much because I look to myself at the end of the day when I leave my class and I see I am just nothing. No microscope from the other galaxy even can recognize me. So who I am before this massive power is called God. But I couldn't find that when I was Muslim, because Islam was for me, it just a matter of exercise. It just matter of how many good deeds I can do, how many time I can pray, how many time I can fast, how many things, good things I can do, and how many good things you can do in your daily life as a human. Please, feel free, ask yourself. I don't need answer. I just challenge you. You know, all of you, when we be tired, we cannot do things. When we be in different mode, oh, I don't like to talk to that. I just was speaking before a couple months ago in a place was women gather. And actually, really, I don't prepare. Because I know I have broken language, I have an accent, but I rely on the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit just give me the subject. So I went to that huge women gather. They invite me to speak, and the subject just pops up to my mind, how big your butt is. B-U-T, don't laugh. But I want to do that, but you know, I want to walk, but I want to be gentle with my friend, but I want to have good relationship with my husband, with my wife, but I want to, you know, be beautiful, but I want to make my homework, but all those buts broken down by the blood of Jesus Christ. Because when I was Muslim, how many buts, how many tons of those buts I had? I born for a tribe, we go by tribal, come from Ishmael, from Abraham, and when I was little kids like that kid, I go with my father and the elderly man, and people kiss my hand, and I felt very proud. Oh, kiss my hand. Why people give me their chair even I'm nothing? Elderly people, and they send whatever the percentage of their yearly thing for my family, and even the fruits they gather from their gardens. And why? Just because I come from Abraham tribe? How about other people? Where is the balance in the world, which they call equality? I believe in balance. Don't take me wrong. So the difference between religion and love, it's matter of you do the thing because you are forced to do it, because you want to do it based on self-interest. Most demanding question from people from my nation, Muslim or Jewish or other people, even a Christian, they ask me, why you convert? Why you become a Christian? I said, I didn't convert. Actually, I return back to the first nature because I believe every human come to the life on the nature of God, because God breathed in us His Spirit in the book of Genesis. So when we form in this form, we come to be in His image. But because I was born for Muslim family, I became Muslim. If I was born in China, I will be Buddhist. The same thing. So when I return back to the first stage, I didn't convert. Actually, I have been converted by somebody else. And always I said, look, I didn't come to Christ because I'm looking for heaven. Neither I'm afraid of hell because I could stay with Islam. But I came to Christ because I found Him. He's the only God. He's the only figure. He deserves to be worshipped. And by the way, I'm not preaching you. I'm not selling you stuff. I am just one of you, student. And by the way, by the grace of God, and they told me I deserve, because I served the U.S. Navy for 3 years, I deserve free educations called financial aid until I get my high education, but I don't believe I deserve. I believe it's blessing. And my education and my life was paid by you, by your tax, and by your 5,000 beloved ones who's gone in Iraq to save me to be free today to speak with you and live this abundant life. So I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to tell you what you should do. I'm here just to share my story with you. And I want to just touch base like yesterday. It's take me 15 minutes. So when I come when I come from Islam to Christianity, because I had a lot of questions. I was calling orphans question. And always I have that truth above me. I cannot take my head up, because when I find some hard question, they didn't exist scientifically, logically, and I asked my imam, they told me, oh, no, you cannot go there, because that's when you will try to be like Adam and Eve. You want to be God, and that's when you will fall down in sin and you will go to hell. So day after day, year after year, and especially I covered yesterday, as a culture thing, I was the last born for my family, the very spoiled one for very average family. In America they call rich, they told me don't say rich, it looks like Kardashian. But yes, I was born for a very privileged, wealthy family, and the last born, and as a tradition, they send me to the mosque in the summer vacation to memorize the book of Quran. At age of 12, I was memorizing the entire book of Quran, 30 books, totally in my mind. And that, and instead to draw me close to God, drove me away, because wait a minute, my sister a doctor. I come from an educated family. I have sister, she's a doctor, she studied in England, and she's a woman. One day when I was a teenager, I went to her and I said, I want to ask you a question. You are a lady and you are a doctor. She said, yes. I said, do you have ever witnessed miscarriage? And she turned to me, she said, hey, how you talk about that? It's not allowed for the man talk with his sister about private things like that in Middle East. But because we were a little bit, sorry, let me drink my water. Because we were a little bit educated family, she said, what you did? I said, oh, I did nothing wrong. I just want to ask. She said, yeah, why? I said, okay, let me ask you another question. If that miscarriage, the baby, or come in the 3rd month, between the 7 week to the 11 week, it's come like a bones? She said, of course, that fool. How come a bones? It's just a flesh, it's just blood. I said, then God liar, God fool, the God of Islam. Allah fool. She said, how you say that? I said, because the Quran says in that term of time and the chapter of creation, He formed the child, the kids, inside the mother womb as a bones. And scientifically, this is unapproved. And she said, oh my gosh, I don't know, just go ask your father. That's one thing from so many things, led me to questioning my former faith. And for the percentage of the huge stolen truth from the Bible, after I got the Bible and I read it by a friend, his mother was work for us, for my mother. They were Iraqi, originally Christian. And I found, wait a minute, there is big gap, 600 between Muhammad born and Jesus Christ's resurrection. So how come all that, the percentage of information and truth was copy-paste in the time where there is no laser jet printer, copy-pasted from the Bible, the Old Testament, and the New Testament, and presented in a book it's called Qur'an, with some reshape for the event and for the names. So that taught me to seek a lot and study a lot, and it's helped me because I was, my family, we were a big library in our house that time, because the book was the most important thing in Iraq. There is no media, and everything was controlled by Saddam Hussein and the government. There are some books you can pay your life for them if they catch them with you. So I studied a lot. I travel a lot because my father was the Iraqi Airlines department manager for 48 years. All my flying was free. I travel over 38 countries over the world, and especially for the country when the record of the Christianity or the record of Jesus Christ and the apostle were there. And because I was born in the most richest area with the history, Iraq, with 500 years for the Jew to be exalted there in Babylon. And by the way, I got baptism in Babylon by the hand of American Captain Chaplain. He's from Nashville. He gave me his first name, Michael. And I went to Turkey, to Cyprus, to Greece, to Syria, to Jordan. I was riding in a donkey, which I never did in Moab, and I find every truth I read about it, it's real. So where is the reality? In exercise and how many good things that you can do in your daily life and how many things I can do. Believe me, when I was a teenager, and I was afraid of that God, because you cannot imagine the feast that Allah has in the Quran over you. You cannot get your head. And when I go to my bed at night, I make like that, when you make the game like that and how many good deeds I did. Oh my gosh, where I have that peace. How I serve somebody, how I love somebody, he want to kill me. How I love somebody, I cannot love him. I cannot imagine him. I cannot establish relationship with that God. There is big gap. He is not the reality. And God in the Quran says, they mock you and Allah is the best mockery. I said, oh my gosh, this is not the perfection, because for God to be God, he has to be perfect. And when he lie and mockery, he's not God. My life have been changed with so many questions until I discover all those questions, because always I say, if you don't have a question, if you stop a question, there is something die within you. And that things by the grace of God never die in me. Always I ask, why? And by the way, different between you ask as a judgment, because you want to trip somebody or trick somebody in your question. And different when you ask because you want to learn. And that's my problem with the people who think they are able to be against God. Because when I invite people, please come, they think I want to convert them. And I said, wait a minute, I attend any speak engagement. I go to, I'm not talking just about the campus. Believe me, one day I fly to Sacramento just to attend somebody speaking, I attend for philosophy, I attend for science, because it's not wrong to know. Because I know I have my truth, and comparative, why I'm afraid. Who has Jesus Christ, why I have to be afraid for another idea. I look, I listen, I see how other people think. And my big challenge, bring me one in the history, die for 3 days, and he conquered the death, and he resurrected. And there is no one can challenge me in that fact. And I tell the people, give me one, destroy the death, and rise again. Even Muhammad himself. And that was set me to death. And make the longest story short, for the sake of the time, and you have a lot of to do, we have a class too at 1 o'clock. So all those questions led me to discover that your question is the setup for your lenses. That's how you make your worldview. That's how you make your identity. That's how you be who you are. It's matter of righteousness. It's matter of being, And the universal question usually, everyone, I tell you the truth. What you study in your 2 years here on this campus, those things. From different angle. Because the origin, the meaning, the morality, and the destiny. Those things in Islam, they were the most hard things for me to conquer. The origin of Allah, where did Allah come from? There's a couple contradiction story. What the morality in that? How you can earn, how you can gain heaven. There is one way, because everybody, the Quran says, there is nobody will not visit the hell according to your deed. You make small bad deed, you will go, for example, Allah will sit in his throne and you say, oh, on that day of 2014, when you eat your oatmeal, you didn't put cinnamon, heather. So you're going to go to the hell for 1 day. That's the judgment of Islam. There is only way to gain heaven in Islam when you commit bomb suicide. When you kill in the cause of Allah. And by the way, I'm not making policy. I'm memorizing the book of Quran, and I can challenge always when I speak. And there's people, they follow me in Middle East. We have over 50 countries, they follow me. And always I say, all my staff I teach, you can see it in YouTube. I said, I challenge any head in Islam theologians to tell me what I'm saying is not truth. I spoke in 2011 in a Ground Zero in 11 September against the mass construction that, and when I started I said, I'm not against any Muslim, I love my nation, but I'm against any radical thought. You know, there is no God can accept the cost of his heaven to kill other people he created, then he has no justice. And if God has no justice, then there is no morality. Meaning for the life, what the Muslim meaning for life? According to the Quran, there is no meaning. It's just like the mouse laboratory. They make experiment on them. And the destiny, if my destiny black, then why I should work hard? You know you're going to fail in your class. Why I'm going to study? You know, just take it wherever. This is what's taken me from Islam to Christianity. And actually, I couldn't find salvation in Islam because there is one way of salvation I discovered in the Bible, that through Jesus Christ. You know, if you agree or you disagree with me. He is the life, He is the moral, He is the truth, He is the only truth for 1,000 years. No one can destroy it. No one can say, Jesus, it's not real. And this is the difference between salvation and religion. What God does for you, it's the salvation. But in my religion, what I do for that God. And just imagine, is there a God need you and need me? This is another era in the Quran, you know. That just recently, yesterday, Daesh, if you are familiar with the news, Daesh, they call the state of Iraq and Syrian Islamic things. It's called Daesh in Arabic, Dawlat al-Islam al-Iraqi al-Sham. They collect the number, they make acronym. They are in Syria, terror. And in the areas when there is a Christian, they enforced him yesterday in the news. They have to pay the tax for the Islamic empire now. And they have to pay 17 grams of gold every month. And if they don't have, they have to leave or they have to be killed. Just imagine. I have a website, there is almost 2 million every night, every day they visit me. And I put something yesterday, I said, if that God need materialism thing, need gold, then he's not God. He's just like when I went to India, that elephants have the arm of lion and the noise of mouse, and it's massive something, it's called Krishna. Said he need. India, the most nation live under the level of poverty. And when I went to Accra, Krishna temple, I found this massive golden temple, and people, they produce children in the street. This is the religion. What a human do for God, because there is no God. But salvation, what God does for you. And I discovered with Christ that God reaching me down, but I was looking to reach that God, and he couldn't even give me a letter, give me a way to reach him. Salvation, it's not for everybody. But religion, anybody can have it. Sometimes when I ask people, I like to make joke, and sometimes put me in trouble, especially here on the campus. And I say, oh, do you like religion? They said, oh no, I'm atheist. I said, oh, then you are religious. I said, no, I don't have religion. No, you have it. Because if you believe that you don't believe in anything, you create your own belief, and you exercise your way to get that belief, then you are atheist, you have religion. I don't have religion because I have Jesus. This is the difference, and that's what set me to death in my country, Iraq. By my family, and especially for the tribal thing, for the wholenesses matter, and it's big problem because systematically, my nieces, my sister, they have to be divorced from their husbands because I commit sin. In Islam, predestination, sin cover on all the family. It's not like in Christianity. So I found myself drove to the Sharia court, which the cost is just death, by my own brothers. And I was remember when Joseph, was sold out by his brothers. And God insists to save me from the Sharia court. Yesterday, I cannot cover all of that, but please feel free to grab my testimony DVD. So I want to pick up from what I left yesterday, and I skipped to Syria in order to skip the death from Iraq. And when they leave me from the Sharia court, they give me 30 days to make my reputation, otherwise I will set to the rules. So in that time, I was working for the US Navy as a culture advisor and interpreter 3 years, between 2007 to end of 2009. And I called my American boss. I said, sir, I cannot be there anymore. I have to leave Iraq. And I went to my family. I tried to get my car or some money and something. I found every door was closed in my face, even my beloved people, even my sister that I admire. Even my childhood friends. And in that time, there is no enough money was in my pocket, only about 80 bucks. And the cost of the bus to take me from Baghdad to Damascus, 120 for a trip of 1 night and half of the day. And I need food so I was under order to walk from Baghdad, my city, to Nineveh. Nineveh, the city of Jonah in the Bible, if you're familiar in the Bible, east-west. And I'm talking about walking not in American nice country, nice street. No one can persecute you, no one can hurt you. No police can stop you and ask you your identity or your ID if you don't make wrong. I was walking in a time that Mosul and the east coast, the east side of Iraq was the source of the terror who's come to fight American. And I have American badge in my pocket. And I walk in the desert when there is the most dangerous snake, when there is a spider, camel spider, when there is coyote, when there is all the kind of harmful thing. And I trust in my Lord. And by the way, what I'm telling you, I'm not making you a movie from Hollywood production. What I'm telling you, it's reality, and you can have it if you believe it. I'm not Iraqi Superman. Always I said, people, you looking to movie, you go to theater, you're looking to Mr. America or Mr. Green, or you believe it, and I see people, especially teenagers, they come to the movie, to the theater, they're wearing that staff. And it smashed my heart. There is no one can be hero like Jesus and wearing the humbleness heart of Jesus Christ. I'm not against those principles, please, but I want you to understand me. So I walk, not because I was strong. I was so spoiled, man. I tell you the truth, I never even correct my bed in my family because we have 7 servants. 7 servants in my house, they work. When I said I'm hungry, the cup of water beside my hand. And if you want, I can show you my picture from my former life. But I walk. I slept in the desk. I eat nothing for days and nights. 5 nights, 6 days. The 6 days when I arrived to Nineveh. The 4th day I was passing away. Dehydration, and I find like a hole. I was sleeping because when the moon comes in the desert, you cannot walk. They recognize you. If the American recognize me, that good, because I know how I deal with them. There is some sign I can tell them I'm a friend, and they can put my number and they know me. But if the Iraqi forces, they got me, you don't know if they work for and there is no government. The government have loyalty to Iran. And if the terror, they got me, they will kill me. So I hide, and I find myself, I start to pass away. And really, I was ready to submit my life to Christ. And I saw the light over me, light. I said, wow, the door of heaven's open inside my mind. And I started to say, hang up, English language. Oh my gosh, that's American convoy. In my process, an American convoy, they found me. And they took me when I give them some indication, I don't like to tell you. They got from the MRAB and the Humvees, and they give me IVs and things. And the problem, they cannot help me because if they take me to the close city, I will be killed if they see me get out of American convoy. Otherwise, they cannot help me financially because I cannot change the dollar to Iraqi currency in a small country town. So I have, in order to continue, walk. And I walk, I arrived to Nineveh, and I got the bus, I arrived to Syria, and I said, okay, I'm happy now, I'm here. And I visit American Embassy, because in that time my boss got me recommendation and high security clearance through the chain of command and General Petraeus for my serving United States of America. And my file was turned to the American Embassy in Damascus, which I visited, and I was so happy, and they told me, you cannot come like that, because there is local security outside. They asked me, what's the reason for you to visit? I said, I have SIV visa. It's called Special Immigrant Visa for the Iraqi people who serve the American in Iraq. And they said, oh, you was work for them. Anyway, I visit a couple churches there, and the only thing I'm expert to speak about it, that Jesus and his love. So I was everywhere talking to people. After a while, I get arrested in Syria. We covered it yesterday, and was the most hard time in my entire life. I was healed in a place. I cannot stretch my leg. I cannot stretch my back. They broke all my fingers. They dislocate my ribs. They break my knees. They broke my jaw. They broke my teeth. I have couple teeth is fake, you know. But, and I was dead, actually. They was using the ultra electricity voltage in my toes and some places in my body. They smoke, and they put the cigarette at the end in my skin, until God saved me. Also was tremendous when Jesus come into I was passing, and I was hung. They put the handscarf in my hand behind, and the Middle East, they don't use wood. We use blocks and concrete. So there is hung for the fan. They hung you with the handscarf, and just imagine within a couple minutes, with the weight of your body, your shoulder just dislocated. Until today, I mean, by the grace of God, I'm the most joyful one. I don't show my pain. When I have pain, I just shrink in myself, and I just want to give the people the best what I have. The closest people who know me. Until today, I go to whatever chiropractor and others. But you know, I'm still here. Whatever the religious people and the religion did, I still love these people, because I have no way for more to love. Jesus command me in his blood, love your enemy. The only figure. I went to China, I went to India, I went where the source of all the Eastern philosophy, and I was challenged people. I said, give me one figure in the history says love your enemy. And you cannot do it. I cannot do it. He's the only one can do it through us if we surrender. And I was deported after a while from Syria. From that suffer, they deported me back to Iraq. They said, you are American traitor, and you are not welcome to come here. And now I found myself, first when they released me and they opened my eyes, I look in that transportation place between the Iraqi and Syrian border. I looked to the mirror, and I shocked, because I couldn't know myself. Really, I couldn't. Bruise everywhere, and yellow, blue, and the pain. You know, when you be in stress, you don't feel the pain. But when you release from it and your body come to be calm and cool, pain everywhere, no shoe, blood everywhere. And when the Iraqi police got me, they said, oh my God, what you did? I said, I wish I could know. God saved me, but I'm going where? I'm going for the militia who want to kill me because I serve American. I want to go to my family they feel ashamed now, and then they want me to forget and deny my Christ just because that make him look okay socially. Where I go? I go to the Sharia court. They want to kill me because there is no right in Middle East for what you believe, and we have this full right here in America. And some people insist to use the same rules that set you and set me free to be a weapon to fight back. Always I said, when I talk to Muslim gatherers, I said, look, God saved you by his blood, by the intervention of America, and by the great Constitution of United States of America. Every constitution in the world have been changed. Do you know this fact? Except your constitution. Never changed. Why we use the same rules that set us free to fight it back? And I went to Iraq back. I don't know where I go. And I went to, God just told me, go to north side of Iraq, a little bit federal, set free by American, Kurdistan. And I was hide for actually 13 months. I end to be homeless in the street, which I never been hungry. I never know how I be in the street. And I tell you the truth, I was very spoiled. I have Range Rover and Audi, and I don't need anything. And I find myself in a park of 5-star hotel when me and my family, I was living that hotel when I visit that province. And I accepted. 4 days, 4 nights without food, walking in the street, I don't know where I go, and remain with me $1. What's Iraqi currency. And that time, the company, the American company I work for the Ministry of Defense, they owe me one salary, was good money. And I said, I was hungry. I said, Michael, I can buy bread and that, or I can go to the cyber, open my email, maybe they transfer my money so I can continue. And I went to the email. I went to the cyber, I opened my email, and I found nothing. But I found a friend in my Yahoo Messenger who live in Hayden now, and her family. They were my family spiritually. They still, Cynthia, I know her. And where are you? What's happened to you? I just know I'm online. And I said, that's what happened. They said, where are you? I said, in the street. Where your address? I don't have address. Do you eat? I said, I have nothing, but I have God. And he was everything. And she started to call my friend who served with me, American soldier, served with me in Iraq, and my pastor, and they started to help me financially to stand for that. But before that, they said, no, we cannot leave you there. You should leave. So I want to leave to Istanbul, and they send me a couple hundred. I get a Turkish visa, and I got bus too because I cannot afford it for airplane. And in the night, I was waiting for my bus. There is terror militia. They just jumped from their car, and that was corner like small buffet selling coffee and tea. And they come to me because I look Baghdadian, and there is barrier now between the civil war of Shia and Sunni and Islam. And I was in different province, and they said, you're from Baghdad? Yeah, give me your paper, whatever. They stabbed me in the knife everywhere in my body, in my leg, and they took my paper and my passport gone. And by the way, everything, believe me, I'm not telling you, Christ don't need advertising. I'm not advertising Christianity or Christ for you. But if you have any doubt, you know me where I am here. And I live here in Riverstone. You can contact me and I will show you every details. My passport gone. I had nothing. And my friend here in America, they said, oh my gosh, your passport gone. And if I need renewing my passport, I have to go to my family. It's not easy like America. And what you gonna do? I said, I want to pray to God. And I prayed. And God, in the dream, when I was hidden in the apartment that my friend from America was support me to be in it, I was dreaming that I went outside from the apartment, and usually I go the right hand to the main street, and I never went to the left side because I'm afraid, and I have to watch my movement. And I saw in the vision that I'm going to that side, and I cross the backyard street, and in Middle East there is shops, they sell fresh juice. They put the fruit, and so I saw that shop for fresh fruit juice, and I stopped, and he gave me grape juice. And he was making me like that. And I wake up morning, and I went in the same direction where my vision was telling me. And believe me, the truth I tell you, everything I saw in the vision was there. And it was a cry. And I was expect I will cross the street and I will see the same man in the vision, which he was. And before I ask him, he present for me the grape juice. And I stepped back, I said, sir, in Iraqi, what's above you here? He said, oh, that's the greatest lawyer in the province, in Kurdistan. I said, I got it. So I went to the lawyer and I met with the lawyer. And God used that lawyer for 3 months to bring me my paper. It's amazing story. And there is witness here in this city. They're writing a book about it. And he bring me my passport 2 days before the State Department send me an email. They need me for the interview in Baghdad in the American embassy. And God helped me. And I went to the American embassy. All my paper was ready. And they took my paper. I make the X-ray. And there's 2 senators was involved in my case for all the persecution I went through it. Our former senator here, and Colorado, my friend, used their senator too. And in 15th April 2011, after long suffer and lonenesses, and live with every aspect, sometimes in the place where I was, if I hear a crowd of feet, that means police, they come to catch me. Just imagine you live every minute, every second. When you sleep, you know, they're gonna catch me. They're gonna kill me. 15 April 2011, 5:15, I was cooked as usual, just the vegetable, and my phone rang. And I got the phone, and the American embassy in Baghdad, they said, Michael Paul, we issued your visa, and we ship your passport, and we need you to leave the country within 48 hours. And thank you. Give the great for God. And you will start your new life page in the United States. Thank you for what you did. And I said, you know, I did nothing. God did. And I find myself leaving my 40 years root, my 40 years culture, my beloved people, my everything behind for one thing, that Jesus and his love. And I believe one day he will take me back when I can teach my people the difference between religion and love. Thank you so much for your coming. God bless you.